Hey kindergarten, today you're going to get one brown sheet of paper off of the front supply table, you're going to get one messy paper, and you're going to get one paintbrush. And at your table you should also have paint, a sponge, and a water bowl. Alright? Like we always do, we always put our name on the back of our artwork. That way we know whose is whose. So you're going to put your name and your secret codes, okay? And then whatever class you're in. So A, B, or C. Flip it over. And today we're going to be mixing tints and shades. We talked about tints and shades last class. Remember, a tint is a color mixed with white. So pink is an example of a tint. A shade is a color mixed with black. You're going to be using tempera paint today to paint tints and shades. Remember that these paints are very messy. You need to make sure that your brush is super clean when you go to get a new color. Right? So I suggest picking one color to start with. So maybe you want to start with red. And paint some spots of red all over your artwork. Using the toes of my brush. Now I'm going to clean out my brush. Remember that when I clean it, I gently dab it on the bottom of my water bowl until it is clean. And then I can give it a little wipe on SpongeBob. Remember that these paints do not work very well if you have a lot of water in your brush. So you need to make sure they're nice and dry. The point of the sponge is not to wipe the paint off. Alright, so you shouldn't be trying to paint the sponge. It's just to get the water out of our brush. Now that I've got some spots of red, I'm going to take some white. And I'm going to paint some white on top of it. And you're going to see I'm going to start to get some tints. I can do that again, cleaning out my brush because I had some pink on it. Wipe it off. And I can use some more pink. Depending on how much red and white you have will change the colors that you're seeing. Cleaning off my brush every single time I'm going to get a new color. Drying it off, and now I may want to do some shades of red. So that's a very dark shade of red. Cleaning out my brush, I almost forgot. And then wiping it on SpongeBob. Black, you need just a touch of it. You don't really need very much because it's so dark. You want just an itty bitty baby amount. Clean up my brush, maybe I want to do some blue now. And drying it off. So I'm going to take some blue. I'm going to put some spots of blue all over my paper. Remember that you don't need to clean off your brush unless you're changing colors or if you're at the part where you're mixing it, because we don't want to get some of that mixed tints and shades into our paint. You do some little spots, you can do some big spots. It's up to you. Please make sure that your messy paper is under your artwork so we don't get it all over our tables. Now I can add white and black to my blues. So cleaning off my brush and giving it a little wipe because we want them to be dry. Once again, I can take either black or white and mix it in with those colors. Notice that I'm not mixing red and blue together, or red and yellow, or blue and yellow. I'm only making tints and shades today. And once again, cleaning out my brush every time I want to use white. Because the white will get dirty super easy. We don't want that to happen. Now I can do some shades. You need to fill up your entire sheet of paper. Remember that shades only take just a small itty bitty amount of black. Otherwise you're just going to end up with these super duper dark black spots, and we don't really want that either. Alright, you'll know that you're done when you've covered your entire sheet of paper with tints and shades. You can see that the yellow doesn't show up super well, but I'll understand that you're trying your best when you do that. I'll also know that you're doing an amazing job cleaning out your paints when the paints look super duper clean. You can see that none of my paints got mixed. All right, I did all my paint mixing right on my paper. When you have your paper completely covered, you need to pick it up along with your messy paper, and these go at the bottom of the drying rack as low as they can go. Make sure that your messy paper is underneath it. Paintbrush goes in the dirty brush bin like it always does. Then you can read, or you can free draw, or you can sketchbook.